Hey everybody, we got another course preview for you this week. This time we're headed to Portugal for the Tamega Swimrun in northern Portugal. You know what that means. Time for the rock flute. Welcome to the Low Tide Boyz, a Swimrun podcast. I'm Chip.
And I'm Chris, and this is episode 170 of the show. In this show, we are doing a course preview of Swimrun Portugal's Tamega Swimrun. This event offers 3 distance options, including a new for 2023 ÖTILLÖ Merit Race distance. Ooh. And, you know, if you've heard this show enough, you know we've been a fan of the Swimrun Portugal Series since episode 35 when we interviewed the series director Bruno Safara, and his events have been on our list since we learned about them. So for this event, we asked the local race director, Sergio Moreira, to help us get all the details about this amazing event at an amazing location. So here's a little intro from Sergio saying hi.
My name is Sergio Moreira, member of Paredes Aventura Club, and I'm one of the driving forces behind the Tâmega Swimrun.
Well, what a warm welcome from Sergio.
Like him already.
It's already a friend of the show in northern Portugal there. Quite an interesting history that Sergio has to share with us about the history of the Tamega Swimrun. And the first edition that took place in 2021, they attempted for 2020, but it didn't quite work out that way. But who better to tell it himself than Sergio? So he's going to break down a little bit of the history of the Tamega Swimrun.
In 2019, Bruno Safara from Swimrun Portugal challenged me to create a race in the north of Portugal, as there were no races. To this day, still remains the only race in the north of Portugal. Bruno and I went to France, to the gorgeous Swinrun, to race. And it was from there that the idea for the Tâmega race began to take shape. Since then, our good relationship has had successful results. I accepted the challenge with great responsibility, not knowing that Swimrun Tâmega would be an adventure. In 2020, it wasn't possible to organize the race due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which had shut down all sport events. In 2021, we prepared everything for the race, but without great expectations. 3 to 15 days before the race, the health authorities confirmed that we could hold the race, which has then to be prepared in just 2 weeks. In the first edition of Swimrun Tâmega, we wanted to make a difference by including kids for the first time in Portugal. It was a success for the club, but there was a poor level of participation to the lack of promotion. We didn't want to disappoint the children who had gone almost a year without races due to COVID-19. So, we had 30 children from the Paredes Aventura Club and a few others. The first edition of Swimrun Tâmega had 2 distances, a sprint and a standard of 17 kilometers and 30 kilometers respectively. In the second edition, we made some changes to the course and to the course marks based on the previous year's athletes' feedback, and everything went well. We were the first race in Portugal to offer monetary prizes totaling €3,000 divided amongst all categories. Personally, I've participated in international races and wanted to bring ÖTILLÖ to Portugal. After almost 2 years of negotiations with ÖTILLÖ organization, we were able to bring the Merit Race to Portugal and offer all the necessary guarantees and confidence to the organization. I thank Michael Lamel for the opportunity to bring the Merit Races to Portugal, and Matt Skold for listening to a small Portuguese athlete full of love and idealism for Swimrun, talking about a race that I think they had never heard of. I showed I was serious and determined to bring ÖTILLÖ to Portugal. My sincere thanks to both of them. I would also like to thank to the new ÖTILLÖ leadership for respecting the project and supporting me in the success of the event.
I love how Bruno was instrumental in this part of the sort of the challenge to Northern Portugal to host the swimrun up there, and now that's still the only Northern Portugal swimrun.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think that's really interesting. I also love that Sergio, like, he took that bull by the horns and just really went in there to try to make an awesome event. Also, Michael and Mats, man.
Yeah, that's awesome that they have designated it an official ÖTILLÖ Merit Race, which now was the first year this year in 2023, which is why we're really excited to bring it all to you. And with that does come a few extra things. Now, since they've updated the merit race, you can get a direct entry if you win the merit race length, which is, they're calling it their marathon.
Yep,
the marathon distance. So, if you're looking to get into ÖTILLÖ, the Swimrun World Championship, and you happen to also want to go to Portugal,
do an awesome race, tropical climate with great food that we're about to talk about. But yeah, I mean, it seems super cool, and you just have to love the vibe. This is, trying to do it in 2020, it not working out with COVID. 2021, they didn't even know the race is going to happen, and
2
then
weeks
it is
before,
and then just bang it out. I mean, it's great, and I think it shows. Again, probably going to say this a lot in this episode, sort of Sergio's love for the sport and for wanting to bring a high quality event to Portugal, which is awesome. But speaking of getting a high quality event, how about just getting to the event? So getting to the Tamega Swimrun, the race takes place in the Rio de Moinhos region of Portugal, which is about 50 kilometers east of Porto, and that's also the closest airport. Fun fact. According to Google Maps, it only takes 10 hours to walk there from the airport.
So if there's not an Uber, you'll really get warm up.
Yeah.
It'll be a
I don't know if you're walking on highways or whatever, but interesting. But yeah, well, Sergio's back to tell us about the local flair. This is the tourism section of the show, so take it away, Sergio.
We are located 40 minutes from Porto and 50 minutes away from the international airport. In the region, there are magnificent thermal hotels. As I'm sure you know, Portuguese cuisine is fantastic, especially in the north. There are numerous tourist attractions around the course. The cities of Penafiel and Marco de Canaveses are beautiful, not to mention Amarante and the city of Oporto. All of this provides a great opportunity to combine sports with local tourism.
Well, I'm wrestling to get my passport right now because that sounded like a good time. And the weather there in June apparently is very good, as he says.
Yeah,
we'll have to take his word for it on that. Well, now that you're already on kayak.com searching for flights to Portugal, why don't we get in and tell you a little bit more about the actual race? So the race, as we mentioned at the start of the show, it offers 3 different distance options as well as a kids course there. So there's a 16.4 kilometer individual sprint course. So if you're doing a solo, that's the one for you. Then they have a standard course, which they offered in 2021 and 2022, the 30.4 kilometer standard course. And then new for 2023, the marathon, the merit distance race for ÖTILLÖ, 42.4 kilometers on that course there. And that is the Big Daddy, the ÖTILLÖ Merit Race.
Yes, and it looks really great. All 3 courses are point-to-point style and center around the Tamega River. And according to their website, this is a challenging landscape with lots of hills. So why don't we kick it over to Sergio, who's going to do a leg-by-leg preview, little course, mini course preview of the 42-kilometer marathon distance.
The race is a point-to-point race that goes up the Tâmega River from the river mouth to Alpendurada. The race starts in the Parque das Tilhas and runs about 400 meters in the whole part of Entre Rios town between narrow alleys of unparalleled beauty. After leaving the narrow streets, we come across the Entre Rios Marina and switch to swimming mode with the Duarte Pacheco Bridge in front of us. The first swim is about 1,200 meters, passing under the bridge with its majestic arches. We then begin the running route with a lot of uphill that unfolds quickly on the dirt and paved roads between the rural and forest areas. To get back to the river, we have to walk about 200 meters with water up to our knees on a small stream until we find the Tâmega River again and swim another 700 meters. The river exit is a wall, a big uphill section that leads up to a picturesque little farm. If we think that reaching the top is comforting, wait to see what is left to climb ahead to the chapel of Rio de Moinhos. We have a fast course with some short technical segments in the forest. After reaching the top of the chapel of Rio de Moinhos, a vertiginous descent to the river passing from the urban to the rural area, crossing magnificent vineyards and forests, always all on a rolling and easy course. The third swimming segment divides the two races that until then followed the same path. The sprint crosses the river at a distance of 400 meters while the standard continues upstream for another 700. The sprint has an incredible forest course, a little technical, but fast until it reaches a huge bay where you must swim another 500 meters and finish on the riverbanks. The standard route has more climbs and technical segments, but always very fast, with 3 more swimming segments. The course returns through a Roman road and wide dirt roads until it meets the sprint distance course again. Participants from previous editions love the course, the difficulty, and the magnificent landscapes. The quality of the supplies, food, and the animation on the course are other incredible aspects of this race, as well as an incredible team of volunteers. At the end, there is a barbecue of a roasted pig for all athletes, and we also cater to vegetarians and vegans. This year's edition is very important to us because being an ÖTILLÖ Merit Race, we need to increase the length of the course, maintaining the high level of previous years. We are also preparing some news for the top athletes that we expect on course. I'm sure everybody will love it because we have a fantastic team running the event, and the weather is usually very good in June, which is also an advantage for us.
I was following along on the course map when he was reading through that, and that just sounded like a blast going through there. I love the variety of terrains and scenery that you're getting, sort of a rural area, and then also some forests.
I like that it's hard. You could almost listen, if you listen closely to Sergio, you can almost see like the corners of his lips kind of just turn into a little bit of a smile when he's talking about climbing the wall.
Yeah, I think he took a little bit of pride in the wall, maybe the naming of it as well. And then also prize money offered for top 3 in each category. That includes the sprint or the solo race, as well as the standard, and then of course the ÖTILLÖ Merit distance, the marathon distance, as they have it on their site there. And we can't forget about the kids race. There's actually 5 different kids categories here. There's the ducklings, 4 to 5 year olds, quack quack. Those require a parent or an adult there. There's the beaver division. How many beavers do you think they're getting in Portugal?
I have no idea.
I don't know. We'll have to go and find out. Beavers 6 to 10 years old. Then there's the older beavers, 11 to 12. Then there's the much older beavers, 13 to 15, and then 16 to 18-year-olds there. So literally, if toddler plus, they got some swim run action for you, and these kids look like they're having a blast.
Yeah, it looks super fun, and yeah, I maybe, for me it was just like, okay, if you're going ducklings, wouldn't you go like then ducks? Like you're totally changing species from ducklings to...
And then just right to beaver.
Yeah, and then just different age beavers, basically.
Yeah.
Any hoodle. The kids' races look amazing. And, that's another thing. This sounds like a love fest for Sergio, and I think it's rightfully deserved. It's like, hey, it's one thing to put on an awesome event, but it's another thing to try to get the next generation into it and make it an event for the whole family and just have options for everyone to experience the sport, hopefully fall in love with it, and then maybe start a podcast down the road so we can retire.
Yeah, absolutely. And go through here, take a look at on their website, swimrun.tamega.pt, and you can go through, check out some of the photos where the chapel that you heard Sergio talk about, some of the amazing views and the lush landscapes around. It looks like a good time had from all. I'm booking flights soon.
Yeah, it looks amazing. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to jump into, we don't have any sort of training recommendations for this episode. We don't know anyone who we could get on the show who's raced it before, but I do have some thoughts. And I know that you do as well, Chipper. And I think the first one is obviously a huge thank you to Sergio for helping us put this course preview together. When we asked Bruno, he was like, "Oh, this is going to be so great." And we put you in touch with Sergio, told him what we needed. He sent it right away. And his energy and love for Swimrun is really infectious. And everything about this event speaks to his desire to put on the best race that he can. And to me, it's a throwback to Michael Amat's in a way, right? Like, he's really just trying to make this as amazing as possible, create an amazing experience. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, mission accomplished.
I think for sure. And, you know, a lot of times this is definitely what we would probably say is going to be a warm weather swim run as well. And then the course, there is challenging elements to it. It looks like it's very approachable from some of the technical natures of the swim entrances and exits being kind of around a river, so that a little bit easier to navigate on that. And yeah, definitely a good time.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like we talk a lot about kind of having this crazy long bucket list, and it is crazy long. I mean, it's unrealistically probably take a couple lifetimes or divorces or something to make them all happen, which, you know, neither are in the cards. But yeah, I mean, after listening to Sergio and already kind of been following Swimrun Portugal series from a distance, I mean, this one's moved up the list.
It has, and you can tell the energy that Sergio brings with it is going to also just naturally lend itself to the community, the swimrun community that we always are talking so much about, and is such a great part of the sport. Sergio and his energy and his drive to bring you the best swimrun really plays off, and the community will just if you build it, they will come, sort of thing.
Definitely.
To northern Portugal for a swimrun.
Sounds, yeah. Start twisting arms now, because it's going to take a lot, I'm sure. Yeah, so that's our course preview. We're trying a new format. This year we're really trying to just expose people to all the different ways that folks can swimrun and where you can do it. And this is the first one of many that we're going to do this year. Coming up next, we're going to do one on another ÖTILLÖ Merit Race, new for 2023, and that's the Hokey Cokey Swimrun, presented by Precision Fuel and Hydration, which is awesome. And we're going to be doing some local ones as well in the United States. So stay tuned for those. And as ever, give us any feedback that you have, if you like these shows or not, if there's a race you'd want us to do a course preview on, because we're really just trying to show people what's available.
Yeah. Spread the love around. Show their swimrun well beyond your wildest dreams.
Yes.
Or at least where your dreams maybe go. It's in northern Portugal. That's where I'm going to be dreaming tonight. I know for sure.
We should drink some Porto. Some port.
Well, that's it for this week's episode. Thanks so much for listening to the show. Make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and leave a review, since that's the best way to help other people discover the show and the sport of swimrun.
Sign up for a newsletter at lowtideboys.com. That's boys with a Z. And check out our meme page at the Low Tide Boys on Instagram. If you have any suggestions for the show or questions for us, send us a DM or an email at lowtideboys@gmail.com.
We'd like to thank Riding Easy Records for our show music, and of course our wives for their support and tolerance of all our swimrun activities, podcast, and other stuff.
Yeah, other stuff.
Way
to keep it PG. Finally, you can support our efforts on Patreon. Until next time, get out there and go for a swim.
Go for a run.
Then another swim.
Then another run.
And then another swim.
And then another run.
And then just keep going.
Until
until you're done.
So you're done. Or maybe can't
And then
stop, won't stop.